Hey, what's up you guys, the Curious Owl here, and today I will be sharing with you guys my April wrap-up. So as many of you know, if you've been paying attention to the vlogs I've been doing, April was not my best mental health month. I actually had a really rough month, especially towards the end of it with my parents' dog having to go into surgery, which she's doing great, by the way. She's doing much better, so thank you for all the well wishes that you guys sent out for that. But I did manage to get through quite a few books. I was actually pretty happy with what I ended up being able to read, and most importantly, basically completed my Wheel of D20 books for the month, which, you know, I'm happy that I did that because that was kind of a lot by itself in some ways. But without further ado, let's go ahead and go through the stats for the month. So in the month of April, I did complete 5 books that I read and read a total of 2,209 pages, 0 minutes worth of audiobooks. 4 of the books I read were physical, 1 was an ebook and no audiobooks, and all 5 of the books I read were from my personal library. In terms of the star ratings, I did have 1 5-star, 3 4-stars, 1 3-star, and I actually did have technically a DNF, so I did get through 6 books in a sense, but 1 was a DNF, so I only actually completed 5. So the first book I completed this month was Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This is V.E. Schwab's newest book and was on my Wheel of D20 books for the prompt of a new release within the last 6 months. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm gonna leave my thoughts for this in the Wheel of D20 video, as I will for the other Wheel of D20 books, because of the fact that I do talk about this at length in that, but I really did enjoy this actually a lot more than I think I expected to, and I think that it was honestly just better writing wise, and it makes me want to go back honestly in some capacity to some of V.E. Schwab's older work that I've tried before and try it again, because I feel like now that I see and that I like her writing, maybe it's better for me to go back again to some books I didn't like and try them again. The next book I read was also for my Wheel of D20 books, but was also part of my reread series of the Renegades trilogy by Marissa Meyer, and that was Archenemies by Marissa Meyer. Look at all of these tabs I have. Not only do I actually talk about this in my Wheel of D20 video, but I also have a separate review for Archenemies that you can go check out. But I did give this a 5 out of 5 stars. This was my second time reading this, and I loved it so much more this time because I honestly feel like I did forget quite a bit of what happens in this. So it did feel like I was reading it for the first time all over again, and it just was amazing beginning to end. I couldn't tell you more of how much I love this, so just go watch the review. It was a lot of fun. My final Wheel of D20 book for this month was The Mothers by Bennett. Now, I did give this a 4 out of 5 stars, and again, you can hear more of my thoughts in my Wheel of D20 video, but I did enjoy this. I think that it was writing-wise a little slow for me. This typically tends to happen with a lot of contemporary adult books, especially more on the literary fiction side, but I did really enjoy this, and I think it really kind of emulates a very interesting conversation that needs to happen in terms of motherhood, especially in Black communities and more specifically Black religious communities. So definitely go check out the Wheel of D20 video to hear a lot of my discussion on this book. Next book I completed was my read for this month for the Brandon Sanderson read-along, which was The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Mistborn Era 1. I was shocked by how I felt about this. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I just, from beginning to end, was like enamored with this. Cannot believe I have put off reading Brandon Sanderson for so long, because honestly, with having read Mistborn and now this, he is gonna be an auto-buy author for me because I just love what he does so much, and the end of this had me shaken to my core. Like, if you watch my Realmathon and Aurelium vlogs where I talk about this book, good God, it was like a ride. It was so much fun. I will say some of the pacing was not my favorite, and I do think it took me a lot longer than it probably should have to read this, but I also can chalk that up to my mental health not really being great around the middle of the month. I really enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'm so excited to be able to read The Hero of Ages in May. Then I also completed my Stephen King read for this month, which honestly is my most disappointing read for the month, and that was Thinner by Stephen King, writing under the name of Richard Bachman, so this is one of the Bachman books. I also have a review for this that you can go check out, but short, sweet, and to the point. Not my favorite thing. Was kind of interesting in the plot section, but other than that, not much I can really say. 3 stars. It was okay. Do I feel like I would recommend it? No, not really. And then in terms of my DNF for this month, it was the last book I did try to read this month, and that was the royally booked book club pick for April, which was The Betrayals by Bridgett. I got about a third of the way through this before ultimately just deciding not to continue it because I felt like I was very lost throughout most of this. I don't like the writing style of it. I feel like it was honestly making me feel like I was stupid for not understanding what exactly was happening. There's this element of mystery that I think was way too mysterious, and it made you feel like, as the reader, it just was not something you should be reading. Like, it was just basically too highbrow. And I don't know, just the way that this world was kind of set up, felt like it was supposed to be kind of fantastical, but it really wasn't. It was just this really prestigious, snooty school of, like, I think chess players, and it was just not fun. It honestly just was painful to read this, so I just didn't end up continuing with it, and I don't think I will ever pick it up again because it was not worth my time. But with that being said, these are all the books that I ended up actually reading this month. I don't have much to say because a lot of them I have videos that talk about them more in depth or basically have reviews for, so this is a pretty short wrap up, honestly, by my standards. But if you guys did read any of these yourselves and would like to share your thoughts on them, please let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be and would like to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!